One thing that really blows my mind is how people think being in a relationship or having a partner or having a family is some type of accomplishment. And so many couples will see me just at peace by myself, and then they'll try to do something to make it look like their lives are so much better. Like, I just had this couple follow me and trying to take photos and kissing in front of me, and it's like, man, the real flex nowadays is to be completely at peace by yourself, without friends, without partners, without sex, without drugs, without external validation, without the need for anybody to notice you or care about you. Like, I don't have a family, I don't have friends, I was an orphan, I don't have anybody in my life to care for me, and I've never been more at peace. 4 years without sex, drugs, alcohol, friends, partying, festivals, none of it. You know, it's one of the most amazing things ever. And 85% of this world will be in divorces. 93% of this world in open relationships will be failed, because that's not real love. Most people are in settled relationships and settled connections and with groups of friends just so that they're not lonely. But I don't believe in loneliness. I'm never alone. I'm always with myself, and I'm the best friend of my life, the best partner I've ever had, the best date I could ever go on. And once you reach that level of self-validation and self-completion, you don't need anything. And it confuses so much of this world because of how insecure and desperate and needy most people are. But I've spent years of my life by myself. I've spent months at a time backcountry in the forest without any interactions, without animals, well, with animals, but without people. And I could go years of my life without seeing a single human being, and it would most likely be the most peaceful time of my entire life. And it's crazy to think people think peacefulness, happiness, self-completion is some type of competition. Life is not any competition. Being in a relationship is not a competition. I had this group of girls sit down beside me the other day and being upset about this guy that they're attracted to marrying someone else and how they thought that he should have been marrying them. And it's like, if you are in that type of mindset that this man that's in love with another woman should be marrying you, and why so many women are looking at relationships like, oh, that man's happy with her, I want to be with him. No, that's disgusting. That's dishonest. And that's you trying to ruin some person's good life. Like, leave them alone. Two people need to choose each other. Two people need to connect to each other and want to be with each other. It's not a competition. And thinking that someone else is married someone else, yeah, good, that's the person that they wanted, that's the person that wanted them. You know, I don't understand open relationships or hookup culture or any of this competitive based relationship styles, and you wonder why 85% are going to be divorced and miserable, and why you see people in relationships that are wearing provocative clothes and trying to get checked out while they're with someone because they're trying to use that man or that woman to make them seem more desirable. But truly, to be completely desirable to a good man, you don't look for sexual attention. You don't play mind games. You're not competing with other women. You're not in that mental state. You're not in that frequency, because no two souls that are meant to be together would ever be in a competition with anybody else. They're just meant to be. And same thing with, like, when you have a child. That child, yes, you created them, but they are their own being. You don't own them. You're not in complete control of them. Yes, you get to help raise them and help teach them things, but you don't own them. They are their own entire existence, their own belief system, their own thought process, their own skills, their own knowings, and everything in that aspect. And it's amazing to see how many people and couples you can really tell that it's not true love, it's not true relationship, it's not true connection. It's just two people hanging out together, having sex together, doing things like that just so that they can feel better about themselves by not being alone. But truly, It's been proven in psychology and brain chemistry that it's far better for your health to be peaceful by yourself than to be in a bad relationship. And the amount of people that are in abusive relationships that are just in them so that they're not alone, they're going to be miserable their whole life. Or I've had women that asked me, to hang out with them and stuff, and then they ended up choosing a guy that looked like a supermodel off the front cover of some magazine, and 6 months later they called me bawling their eyes out because he cheated on them while they were pregnant. It was like, you had an opportunity with a good man and you chose someone that looked a little bit more like a supermodel on a front page of some porn magazine. And I laughed in their face, because it's not, one, I would never respect a woman that chose someone else instead of me, because, it's not that I don't respect them, but when they're choosing based upon just external looks, they're going to be miserable their whole life, because some of the worst people out there, yes, they might take care of their bodies and they might look really good, but I've spent more of my time working on my mental state, my traveling addictions, my experience in life, than spending all my time focused on having the tightest six-pack. And yes, I went through a lot of abuse as a child and ended up getting made fun of by my father and my family for my looks and things, and that orchestrated into emotional eating, and it's something that I'm still working on within my life. I'm 4 years off drugs and alcohol, but I found that I still have went through traumas, even with this last job, just going through so much abuse and so much triangulation and so much manipulation and narcissistic, psychopathic, evil stuff, and fell back onto eating junk food to soothe the pains of what I was going through. And that's just me admitting, my last crutch that I need to work through. And it's amazing, when people are only basing their attractions off how nice their six-pack is and how the media portrays you need to have this man that looks so perfect and the woman all dressed up and dolled up. And even on YouTube, you'll have those commercials come up about them making fun of their partner's weight and how they need to do Tai Chi walking and things like that. And it's programmed from when we're kids. Same thing with all the Disney movies and all the animated films that they're brainwashing children with about bullying. You'll have the one special person in the show that is different than everybody else, and everybody in the scene and everybody in the movie, they're looking at them, they're making fun of them, they're whispering, they're bullying. And it's crazy how much the elite and the government has wrapped humanity around their fingers in this aspect of indoctrination in the programs that they're running. And truly, it's wild to see society in such competitive based lifestyles. Especially now, humans have become so demonically evil towards each other and so competitively based and so jealous and insecure and paying attention to other people's lives. And I step out into public and most people will stop what they're doing and just stare at me because I vibrate on such a different frequency than the indoctrinated masses of programs out there. And it's amazing to know how far I've came and everything I've been through. And even over the last 4.5 years, I'm so proud of myself for the only thing I was using was food a little bit. And yes, I know that it's something I need to work on. And even I lost 61 pounds last year after the Jasper fire, putting on 50 pounds emotional eating when I called my family and my parents and they both told me to go fuck myself. But it's like being an orphan, why would I ever expect them to want to help me or have any heart or soul, The amount of abuse and the pains and the garbage that I've been through with them, they don't have goodness in them. They're both very evil narcissists, and they can't look at themselves in the mirror and understand themselves and grow. And that's one of the diseases of narcissism, is they just think that they're the best things in the world and everybody else around them is the garbage. But it's crazy to think, like, I'm so proud that I've became so clean and alcohol free and drug free, and It's crazy. I just stayed at a hostel, and the last time years ago that I was there, I had a group of people ask me to come to a house party, and I had a slip up, and next thing you know, I was high for 3 days, and that was years and years and years ago. And even 2 nights ago, I was having dreams about exactly that, going and having things happen to me where I, in the dream, went and got invited to a party and went and got high for a few days. And it was like my higher self showing me how far I've came and everything I've been through and everything I've done. And yeah, no matter what you're going through in life, no matter what, life is not a competition. Where you are in life, you're exactly where you're meant to be. Everything that's meant for you will come to you at the time that it's meant to come to you. And you're doing such an incredible job no matter what you're going through and no matter what you've been through. And man, I've been through a harder life than I would ever wish anybody to go through. And I've been through more trauma and more pains than I would ever wish. I wouldn't wish anything bad to people. I just don't understand why society is so disgusting towards each other and why they're so abusive and why people's new addiction is trying to harm others or get some reaction, because people are so psychopathic and so evil now. And wow, it's mind-boggling, this world right now. And truly, like, we're in the life phase of a 26,000 year planetary system into Aquarius, and that's why people are becoming telepathic and why people are ramping up, because the energies of narcissism and control and manipulation are not allowed in the new life phase of the 5D dimension that we're going into. So that's where society's ramping up, and these abuses are ramping up, and the darkness is ramping up. And it's wild to see, truly though, how dark humans are towards each other. So I wish every human on this planet love and healing. I wish every person to see themselves for who they are and grow through their darkness and grow through their traumas and really progress, because we need to work as one. There's no borders, there's no war, there's no military. All that is the stupidest thing in the world. We don't need bombs. We don't, nobody owns Mother Earth. Nobody owns or creates these borders, because if she wanted to, she could wipe every one of us out in 24 hours, change the oxygen levels 1 or 2 degrees up, set off super volcanoes, set off super tsunamis, you know. She could flip everything faster than we could blink our eye. Even Jasper, for example, like, you go to the Athabasca Glacier, some of our highest mountains, they'll tell you that some of the stones and the way that the formation are, they used to be the bottom of the ocean. So just in that aspect, some of the highest places in Canada used to be the bottom of the ocean. So if she wants to, she could do whatever she needs to. And she's already flipping her poles. She's already changing things. She's burning places down. She's freezing places that have never had snow. She's very upset. And she's a living, breathing organism that is protected by the universe and protected by higher powers that people couldn't comprehend. And she will do whatever she needs to do to make sure that the garbage and the virus of this planet, which is humanity, doesn't do anything negative towards her, where they're already poisoning her air, poisoning her oceans, destroying her trees, destroying her oxygen and her lovely creatures. So humanity really needs to wake up. I wish everybody love and the most incredible day of your life. Woo!